10 days, about 10 days, or within 10 days, one of the presidential candidates, that is Robert Kasibante of the NPP, filed a petition before the Supreme Court. And this is a presidential election petition. It was challenging the results of the elections on grounds that there was unfairness, there was irregularities, and that the president didn't win fairly and squarely. So he went to court, to the Supreme Court. However, along the way, he came out complaining. He said, my colleagues promised to give me evidence, because Supreme Court requires you to collect enough evidence, because they're dealing with over 50,000 polling stations. So you must have enough evidence before them to be able to make your case. So he said, along the way, I was waiting for NUP, I was waiting for other parties to give me evidence. They had promised me. No one promised. No one showed up. No one gave me additional evidence to the case. So he decided to withdraw his petition. Now, for withdrawing your petition before the Supreme Court, you must be able to give a case itself. You must apply to withdraw.
Hey, you don't just withdraw like that. No,
you don't just withdraw like that.
Not like the withdraw, you know. You just go.
So this withdraw, you apply, and then the respondents have to react to your application. So the respondents, all who are President Museveni, the Attorney General, and the EC, all acknowledged his application, and they said it's okay, you can withdraw. So right now, what's happening in that Constitutional Court is they have dismissed the petition. You can first hear one of the justices speak about it.
All right. Because a presidential election petition is not an ordinary litigation. It relates to the highest office in this land. The constituency of the presidency is the whole country, which had over 50,000 polling stations in the just concluded elections. If the petitioner and his advisors had put full serious thought about the decision they were making and its practical implications, we grant the applicant the leave sought. As such, Presidential Election Petition number 1 of 2026 and Presidential Election Application number 1 of 2026 are hereby discontinued. Before taking leave of this matter, we note that the applicant's petition is the 5th presidential election petition to be filed in this court since the promulgation of the 1995 Constitution.
So they've accepted.
Yeah, they have accepted, and they're saying now, considering the fact that this has been withdrawn officially, President Museveni has no challenger, and is now duly elected as the president of Uganda.
When does he swear in?
And around May 12th to 13th, between the 12th to 15th, between there, that's when President Museveni will swear in. But also other issue was dismissing the petition with costs, because Kasibante was scared that the costs would be very high on him, because right now, as it stands, the Supreme Court does its data audit request bid. So the data audit request bid was standing at about 18 billion shillings. So yeah,
just an audit.
18.5 billion. So according to the ruling, they have said that they have premised on previous cases, like the one of Kyagulanyi in 2021. Kyagulanyi was not also given costs alone. He didn't carry the burden of costs alone. They shared with the petitioners. So the same thing with the respondents. So the same thing has been done in this case. Kasibante will not pay all the costs for filing the application, the petition before the court. However, he will share costs with the Attorney General's office, with the President Yoweri Museveni, and also with the Electoral Commission. So, yeah, that's it.
Okay, I thought it was on grounds of funds, actually, only, but if the withdrawer has to withdraw, and then and then you have to be accepted.
You have to beg, because they can refuse. They can tell you, no, let's proceed. No, you don't just go to the highest court in the land and waste their time, just like that.
Now, imagine, Pamela, imagine if I had to withdraw. And someone tells me,
but Otis, what are you all about?
My case, I have to withdraw my case.
Okay, which case?
If I petitioned someone, and then I told them.
In which court are you talking about?
In the court, in the
High Court, the Supreme Court.
Oh. Oh my goodness. Is there anything else you
Yeah,
have for
well,
us?
speaking of courts also today, the High Court is expected to rule on whether Molly Katanga has a case to answer in the killing of her husband, Henry Katanga.
Yeah.
If you remember that prominent, a very famous case that had happened, and it has been all over social media. It happened at that road, what is that road? Chua Road, where, well, it was on November the 2nd, around 2023, where the bullet was fired. Of course, Katanga died. The bullet was hit to his head. Molly Katanga was charged with murder before the High Court, and she has always denied these charges. So the case has been ongoing. The trial has been ongoing. So today we are going to see a ruling from the High Court on whether she has a case to answer in regards to the killing of her husband. So the presiding judge is Rosette Comfort Kania. So that is one of the things that we are also looking out for. And also, just finally, well, the KCCA, Kamba Capital City Authority, is also going hard on borders, and they are again saying that if they want to actually reduce the number of borders to about 27,000 borders
around the city.
Yes, around the city, and around not only around the city.
Central metropolitan.
Not only central, because central is going to have its borders. Makinde will have its borders with stages designated for each. Nakawa will have all the 5 divisions of Kampala, but in all the 5 divisions, they want to have about 27,000 borders. Now, if you look at the capacity of borders we have right now, right now, Makerere University is graduating students, but also a number of those are going to come out and say, "Kanguleoka border, wakangenefune border kuloni," and that's one of the easiest ways that people feel they can make money.
Even as we are making some good money here, you buy border and give it to someone
exactly
else to ride it around the city.
So if you are lucky enough, you might be amongst the 27,000 that will be considered.
Is there a criteria they're going to follow to
Yeah, of course, people have to register. You have to register your border. You must have that logbook that is clearly stipulates you are the owner of the border. Even if it's on loan, where did you get it from? Because there are incidents where people go buy a border from a third party who stole it from another person, and then I buy it at a lower price. I don't have the actual paperwork to prove that I am the owner of this border. So you must prove the paperwork. You must be licensed enough. You must have paid your license, and then of course other factors of registering. So you can get a reflector jacket. You can get the helmet, whatever is required. The helmet, reflector jacket. Make sure your border is in a good mechanical condition, and then you must be able to have a stage designated to you. So there are those who are lucky enough who already have stages where they operate from.
I do think this is going to be a hard pepper for them to regulate all these borders to 27,000. I know it's probably triple that
yes,
around Kampala. But good luck to KCC, and we hope you bring some order in the city.
The interesting thing, Otis, is that you'll find someone living in Wakiso, but his daily his riding business is here in Kampala. He wakes up very early, leaves Wakiso, and then comes to Kampala and rotates around. That's where he does
Ogenda.
Another will come from Mukono, Nenga Koleda Kampala, but he's a border guy. So I think maybe that is one of the things KCC is looking at streamline. That if you're in Mukono, why don't you operate within that area?
So. We do hope that the city actually gets a bit cleaner. I saw what they did with the vendors.
The street vendors.
But this happens almost every cycle of 5 years. You see vendors getting off the road, and then after like 2-3 months, they come back.
So we're waiting to see.
We are waiting to see, KCC, if you stand by what you say.
But this time I think it's serious, because the previous times you'd still see a bit of drama in the city. That means, like for instance, if the KCC had sent away vendors, you'd still see some few stubborn vendors, and then KCC enforcement officers dealing forcefully with them and arresting, and you'd see City Hall court is full of vendors who are rebellious being sent to prison for about 6 or 4 months, and their merchandise being. But this time around, I think it has been almost seamless. When KCA gave the ultimatum 2 weeks, you would see vendors off the street on the day of the ultimatum. There was very minimal arrests happening. There was minimal confiscating of people's properties. I
do think people need a place to be first of all, before they can chase them off the roads, because when you chase that person off the road, they are not going to feed their family. So please, before you chase every person from the city, at least give them somewhere to be. Build a market somewhere.
They said there are markets. There are about 7 markets, and then out of Kampala. But the same thing is by the spilling over to the outskirts of Kampala. The people who are operating outside shops are being sent away. Wegamba, if you're doing your business, or in a mobile money table, like bagenda bagoba, they're already enforcing that across the divisions. So people are really concerned, saying you've chased us from the city, but we've come out of the city to the divisions of Kampala. But still, again, you want to enforce that directive of people not operating on verandas.
When are they going to come to this road of ours?
They have come. Yesterday I was actually speaking to a mobile money guy, an operator just within here, and he was saying, man, anytime from now, we are taking our tables away because they have warned us, they have given us an ultimatum, move veranda.
Just walk on this road around 7 p.m. in the evening. Even actually about 6. You will see people selling shoes, you will see people selling perfumes, stockings and all that. It's a bit too untidy for my liking.
But I think in the evening it's okay, Otis. In the morning it's fine because people are busy. But evening time.
Thank you to Kone. My name is Roger Otis. Galaxy
100.2